Hi everyone, it's Andy from Hobby Headquarters. Today's video is going to be about an update of the RT Diorama factory, as well as I'm going to show you all of the brand new product from RT Diorama, all the 3D printed stuff that is going to go inside the factory, as well as a bunch of mini art products that we're going to be able to use on this as well. So, let's get started. And before we start looking at all the new cool RT Diorama products, I first thought I would show you that I have a new center building section, as you can see here. It is all glued up. I'm going to be very, very careful with this one right here. I don't want to drop and break this one. And I've also gone ahead and already attached this portion of the building here. And if you'll notice even closer, I started doing all the weathering on it, as well as putting up signs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this whole diorama. Give me a second to do that, and I'll show you a close-up of the side building. Okay, let's take a look at the side here now. I also went ahead and threw the top on here as well, just to show you how it'll look in place. Now, on the side here, we've got it all built up and have the signs into place. Like this one here says, authorized personnel only in this area. And then we've got two signs on the side here that say no open flame and no smoking. Inside the warehouse, I'm going to try to take a picture and place it right in here. I've started to put things inside there as well. I put like a propaganda poster from the 1940s, as well as Mini Art had a piece of carpet that came with one of the kits for the truck. So I've put that inside there as well. In the corner over here, there was a little bit of a gap that I didn't like too much when I glued the two buildings together, because it wasn't really technically designed to be that way. So I chiseled away a little bit of this piece and then actually used what I'm using as a pointer to make a downspout. And hopefully you can see it on the end down here. Just bent a little bit of this plastic up here. I will add some more of a gutter system up here that'll like collect all this water, but I think it looks really good because it hides everything and it looks like something they would possibly use. So we have it like that. Now I'm going to take you over on the inside of the other building off to the left over here. And actually, you might be able to see it, but I'm going to get a little bit closer in there. I've started building some of the tables and equipment that'll be inside that first building. Let's take a look at that. And here's what it's starting to look like inside one of the factory buildings. I've zoomed way inside there and I removed one of the doors so you could see a little bit better. But we have the Mini Art workbench, basically, that's got like a vise on it and a bunch of other little tools. Hopefully you can see the little pliers and the hammer hanging off there. And I have a little bit of a drill press. And in the back, between the two propaganda posters, that is the split that comes inside the wall. So I took a piece of aluminum tube and just made it a piece of conduit, bringing down an electrical plug system for them from the plug all this stuff in. So it might not be 100% accurate, but it's better than a big giant crack in the wall, I think. So I think it's looking pretty good inside there. And since we're talking about Mini Art, I want to show you a few new sets that I have that I'm going to add to this diorama as well. Okay, I've pulled back away from the front of the diorama so you get a general idea how it's looking from afar. And then I want to show you what I also plan on putting in. So this is a new kit from Mini Art. This is called the Checkpoint. And this, I think, is going to go perfectly in the front of our workstation here. So we've got a little guard outhouse and the pole here that stops people from going in. I'm going to remove this for 1 second because I think it's going to go perfect in the front here. Got to imagine too that this street out in front is not necessarily a public street. This could be a street inside the actual factory, and this could be a more sensitive area where they would have a guard on duty that, you know, they don't want anyone sabotaging going in there. So we have this little guard shack that's got a chair inside, a little telephone to call the big boss to see if they can come in, and this pole that'll keep trucks and stuff from entering in here. And I took it out of the box. The pole fits perfectly aside there. And about 3 days before I got that checkpoint, I actually had found a outhouse from Mini Art. From ICM. And I took the the one like this and was going to put it right here in as a gate guard. And then, of course, the checkpoint one came from Mini Art. So I'll use this somewhere else around the diorama, but I think the other one is going to work out a lot better. Then a couple other just quick things here. We've got a set of Maybach engines, and obviously I'm doing a lot of building on this diorama, and then we'll decide later on what is going to be built in this thing. But here's another option. It could be a Maybach engine plant that they're producing the Maybach engines. We don't need to show a lot of it, and since I just showed you inside this other building over in here, this could be set up on a pedestal, and the guys could be sitting down there working on them, building the Maybach engines. It might be a little bit more realistic based on the size of the factory that I have here. Remembering once again too that this factory is just a little piece of the factory. The factory is supposed to go on in multiple directions all over the place, but that's an option. I know many of you were calling out, hey, you need to put pigeons, and I do. I finally have pigeons back in stock. I took this box immediately, and we'll have some birds, you know, in little areas, maybe up on the fence or up on one of the top pieces up there. Also, we've got the garage workshop, which is the same workbench that I already have in there, but it certainly is not going to hurt to have some more workbenches, plus like compressors, grinders, all that kind of stuff in there. And the last set before we get into the RT Diorama products is this set of welders. I'm keeping these guys because I do plan on putting figures in here. They're going to be all over the place, and I've already actually had a few from the other Mini Art sets that I've just started to glue together, and then I'll work on painting those as well. But we need life around here, and I think this is going to be the perfect one for it. And the last guy I want to show you, or last set of Mini Art, is this set from the French civilians, 1930s and 40s, and it is this guy right here. This guy, now it says a French civilian set, but I think he's going to work fine for a German as well. The rest of the figures look like they would be for French, but this guy could definitely be anything. And this is our new plant manager. Look at him there. He's wearing a three-piece suit, smoking a cigarette with his fedora on. And just picture him in the middle of the way there with all the hustling and bustling going on. And he's sitting there, you know, overseeing the whole operation. And I think he is going to be a great addition. So I'm definitely putting this set of figures aside too, because I want to hold on to that so we have the ability to use that. And maybe even like a German car out here in the front with a secretary or something like that. All kinds of different things we can do. And one other thing, since we're talking about it, before we get into the RT Diorama stuff, is you may or may not know, but Mini Art, as well as ICM and many other plastic model companies, smaller ones, are all based in the Ukraine. In fact, Mini Art was actually in Kyiv, and obviously their operations are all completely shut down right now, and they've got a whole bunch of other problems, and we wish the best for them over there. But just so you guys know, a lot of this Mini Art in ICM is going to dry up because there's not going to be any more of it coming in for a while. And I have no other information other than that. I just know that it is going to really obviously start to slow down coming into the country. They're going to distribute whatever they have that's in other parts of Europe. But after that, who knows what's going to happen. Hopefully they can get their operations, and first and foremost, let's hopefully all of them stay safe. But hopefully they can get their operations set up in maybe Poland or another country and then start producing stuff maybe later in the year or on into next year. But we obviously wish them the best and hope everything works out for them in a good way. So now we can go on, and I'm going to show you all of the RT Diorama stuff. Okay, I'm really excited to share with you all of these really cool accessories that I'm not going to say every one of them is going to end up on the factory or in it, but a great majority of them definitely will. And the very first thing I want to show you is this set of ventilation shafts that, sorry about the glare on it there. So these are obviously ventilation shafts that will mount to the outside of the building, add some really super detail. They're all laser cut. And this is the bigger of the two, and I have to say I couldn't help myself. I had to get right in there and start building one of these up. So you can imagine, hands the side of the building, it's just going to mount just like that. Add a lot of detail. This is unpainted, of course. I just glued this together, did all the little things. Very, very simple, easy to understand the instructions, and have a nice little ventilation shaft for the side of the building. This is definitely going on. That's why I built this one. Now let's look at some of the 3D printed parts. And to start off with, we have door handles and hinges. And quickly, we'll just look right into this here. You can see all 3D printed. We've got some nice looking door handles and hinges. Just like that. And then, of course, all of that underneath is all the supports. All of those, someone asked me that once before, what is all that stuff? That is the support, how they print it, and that's all designed to break away from the actual part. So you have a clean surface, and that way they can get it elevated off of the base plate here. So there are the door handles and hinges. Next up, this is definitely going inside. This is a stand-up industrial drill press. Big one that's going to go next to the tables and stuff inside with the guys working around it. And I'm probably not going to open up every single one of these 3D printed things because you get an idea by the cover art what is inside there. But look at how nice this is. Now, once again, remember all of this stuff breaks away, but you can see how nice the detailing is inside here. So we'll have a full stand-up drill press to put inside of our factory. We also have some other accessories. This is a box of 1940s style fuse boxes and switches. So you've got the, looks like the old Frankenstein movie monsters where you flip the switch and turn on the monster. But yeah, these will look really good on the side walls in there, showing off, you got to be able to turn the lights on inside the factories. We also have some wooden crates. Those are going to be very helpful. Some industrial ladders, so the two ladders right here for putting on the roof section. We might be able to use those. And another set of the lights and wire holders, things like that, that I showed you once before when we first got the set. Now we're going to look at some of the bigger pieces, and these are definitely going to go a long way. These are the street lights and isolators for the thing. So you can imagine that we can have power coming in on these, and then of course some extra street lights. I know I have the mini art ones already open, but never gonna have too much street lights or power going to our little facility here. So that's gonna be a very nice little piece. We've got another set of cable reels. So these are some of the larger cable reel sets, and maybe you can see next to they've got a 35th scale guy right here. So those are the three that are inside here. So from a very, very large cable reel down to a little bit more manageable size. But those are also very good around a factory. This thing, I was very excited about this thing. This is kind of cool. This is a 3D printed stairwell with this little control house. And I'm assuming this goes in maybe on the inside of the building. So it would be something that, outside of the sound of heavy equipment and things like that, that would go up there, and a guy would go up there and be able to watch the entire factory. And I've got to show you the 3D printed stairs. They're absolutely incredible. Hopefully this shouldn't take too long to get out here. Here we go. So, yeah, look at that. Look at all of the mesh inside there. Really, really nice looking. Just imagine that. And then, of course, the building itself, the little house, is all die-cut wood. And this is our handrail for the side, too. So, once again, you just got to break out all those little micro supports in there. But that is going to be a really cool, and I guess you could probably even put this on the outside of a building too. There's no reason why you couldn't. It would be a nice little accessory to add on the outside, kind of overlooking the entire factory. Next up, we have a set of rain gutters, which is all of this stuff right in through here. Sorry about the glare. And the downspouts that go with it. So that's some nice detailing that we can put on our building. But now I'm going to show you the thing I'm most excited about. And this is it right here. This is the 7.5-ton gantry crane. It's an overhead crane that will mount to the inside, more than likely our giant building, the big one that I'm repairing right now. But this plus this, here is an extension for it. So this is a group of extensions that will lengthen it out more if we need to. And then finally, it's also part of this piece right here. So this is the bracing that goes inside the factory walls. So it's the long portion. And maybe you can kind of see the background here. Here is that bracing here, and the whole gantry gets attached to that. So let's assume that we're going to do the, well, whatever it is, whether it's the tank factory or if it's the turret factory, whatever it is, they're going to need some kind of big crane to lift heavy items. Now, obviously, a 7.5-ton crane isn't going to lift an entire tank, but it definitely could lift a turret. So if this was like the factory, the Henschel factory, for example, that was producing turrets, we could have this inside the main building, the big one, with all of the detail. And that's what I love about this thing, is that we can show and do all of this extra detail inside each one of the buildings. So between the 3 of these pieces right here, I'm just thinking that is going to be some incredible stuff inside there. And well, let's do too, since I've already opened all this stuff, I couldn't help myself. I wanted to show you how nice the 3D printing is on this. So let's open this. Here is the motor system for the overhead, and then all of the bracing. See how it's all laid out there, and snap that off easy enough. Let's see if there. Oh yeah, here's some of the big supports. How they've been molded, or I shouldn't say molded, how they've been printed, and then just lots and lots of detail parts. And here's like the rail track that they use, that that the unit rolls across right there. So man, I'm so excited about that, because that's just going to add so much detail inside the factory. And a couple other things here. This is the pipe and pipe holders. These are the little brackets that fit on the side of the buildings that we could be running either steam or water or whatever is inside. And this is a whole little kit here. You can see we've got all the flanges here, some piping, and then all of the brackets to attach it to the building. So I know this seems kind of odd, but or maybe it doesn't. I was really excited about this because this was in the picture of the original factory, and I thought it added so much nice detail to it. So very happy to get a hold of a set of these. We also have here, before I show you that, let me show you this first. I just opened these up. Here are the pipe fittings for that stuff too. So if we wanted to put them, maybe not up so high, we want to run some of the piping lower on the ground, we've got an on and off turn wheel here, plus all of the elbows and valves for it. So another nice little feature to add on to it. And then now I can show you this here. This is the industrial lamp poles. Now you may remember I started building some of the industrial poles here by themselves. They are all laser cut, not photo. They're laser cut stuff. And what it is, it's basically the same set that this thing has, but inside here they give you a ceramic base to elevate it like this, and then of course you get all of the 3D printed lights and other accessories inside there, inside the normal laser cut wood, just like this thing was right here. So that's going to be another nice little feature. And now I just get to show you some of the paper goods that I want to share with you. And the first thing I'm going to show you, and it's actually not a paper good, it's the glass window frames. Now, when I was doing the factory earlier, I put in the glass frames using just a piece of, clear plastic behind it, all cutting it out. But this offers a whole new range of really cool stuff to add on to it. This is all of the glass pieces that you put in, but it's not paper. It's actually this transparency here. So picture this. You've got these these dirty stained windows, and then you just take your window frames, glue it right on there. Didn't want my finger in the way as much, but think about that. Look at how the glass is going to look all dirty and worn and got staining on it, just like that. This is going to be a great addition, especially to the big building, because the big building has like I think 6 or 7 of these windows in it. So nice addition. And then of course this one goes on that circular window on the other building. So that'll be another great one to add on to it. So let me show you. And then there's also one other sheet inside here as well. that has the windows for the other building, the one that I've already pretty much completed. I mean, the outside is pretty much complete. So we've got the bigger frames down there plus the skylights up in here. So you get both of those transparent films in there. That is going to be a great addition onto the buildings. And then, of course, we have some more paper products. These are some signs. And finally, we have some cardboard boxes that are all have to be cut out, but have emblems and stuff all over it. So it'll be a nice little accessories to add all over the factory. Well, there you go, guys. There's a quick update of the RT Diorama giant factory that we're building up. One quick thing. We are going to bring the majority of the line of RT Diorama to the United States through our website at andyshhq.com. We are getting all the orders finalized, and it is going to have to come by sea freight because obviously it's very, very heavy stuff. And we're going to have in all the 3D printed accessories, the paper products, the glass products, and of course the dioramas themselves. So give us a little bit of a chance to get those rolling in here. We will have them soon though, hopefully within the next month or two, and then you'll be able to order them on our website. And also too, if you're new here and you were wondering why that strip of plywood is on the side here, don't forget I do plan on expanding this diorama even larger once more of the stuff comes in. So I'm going to work on what we have now, but we have the ability to extend it another foot, 2 foot, depending on how we decide on it. And that's why I wanted to leave that extra bit of plywood on the outside, so if I do make it bigger, it's already set up ready to go for it. So there you go, guys. I want to take this opportunity to thank you as always for watching, and please stay tuned because we have many more videos coming.